You're now watching Colorado State University's student-run campus television, Channel 25, weeknights from 8 to midnight.
For Thursday, March 25th, 2004, you're watching Campus Television News. Good evening and welcome to Campus Television. It's almost election time here at CSU. The first day of voting for the student body president and vice president begins Monday, April 5th.
We'll have more information on how you can cast your vote a little later, but first a look at the candidates. There are 4 tickets running for president and vice president of the CSU student government. Here they are: presidential candidate David Hoff and his vice presidential running mate Mike Bystrom. Both seniors. Hoff is a political science major and Bystrom a double major in zoology and journalism. Next are Katie Clausen for president and Ben Goldstein as her vice presidential running mate. Clausen is a senior business management major. Goldstein is a junior majoring in liberal arts with an emphasis on political science. Then Brittany Burke for president and Kristen Shoei for vice president. Both Burke and Shoei are juniors majoring in journalism. And last but not least, presidential candidate Dustin Zvonek and his running mate Kyle McCarthy. Both Zvonek and McCarthy are juniors majoring in political science. At the Laurie Student Center Theater. The event was organized by the Associated Students of CSU. We'll have excerpts from each team's closing comments from the debate, beginning with Brittany Burke and Kristen Shao. Although the two candidates do not have much experience with ASCSU, both believe that they can benefit the student body.
We feel that you need leaders that will put those pieces together to create the best possible picture and the best possible future for CSU. We don't have any experience in ASCSU. We wanted to address that in our question because we feel that some of the people up here are using that as their only force in this. And passion is very important, and we want to make sure that everyone here knows that passion doesn't just go through that government. It runs through this entire school. It runs through the veins of every single student, and those students need to be represented.
The candidates believe they can bring fresh ideas to ASCSU and the student body if chosen for president and vice president. While some have very little experience, other candidates have been very involved in the past few years. Katie Clausen and Ben Goldstein both have numerous experience in the CSU student government. Their campaign is laid out in 4 subject areas.
SMART, student programs. Monies is in tuition and fees. Academics. RIDE is in transportation. And T is in traditions and pride. That's where it all begins. We have to understand this campus. We have to have been there. We have to have put in the hours and been dedicated, and we will continue to do so. This takes a lot of passion. It takes a lot of perseverance. We know what it's going to take, and we know what it will take to accomplish our goals. So when you look at our platform, it's not just a list of, wow, these would be great things to happen on this campus. These are things that you can expect to be done by the time our term is completed.
Clausen is currently the vice president for ASCSU, and Goldstein is the director of student services, and together they're hoping to be elected and continue their involvement with ASCSU.
Candidates David Hoff and Mike Bystrom focused on the education curriculum for all students, as well as new ways to get students involved with the university before actually attending CSU.
Education, what are we going to do about education here at CSU?
Why are we doing it in this order?
You know, every year we have to take more classes to graduate, and the curriculum keeps getting lower and lower. I mean, I think it's ridiculous. We need to work on our education, first of all. It's a big problem. RAM Camp is great at one of the ideas that the agriculture department has, and it's basically like orientation for new students. Since we got rid of the freshman orientation, you know, RAM Camp allows it allows students to get together before school starts, actually make network and make connections, so when they come to school they do have friends. And we believe that RAM Camp is a great way for everybody to get involved in every university.
Hoff and Bystrom both believe that by helping set up programs like RAM Camp, they can be an asset to the student body if elected for president and vice president. Lastly, candidates Dustin Zvonek and Kyle McCarthy believe that they have the experience to be very successful in the president and vice president seats. Aside from their goals, these candidates believe they have something more personal to offer the student body.
Basically, what I think it's important for Dustin and I to communicate is that more so than any other ticket up here, we are the most complete ticket that's running for ASCSU president, vice president. Because between the two of us, we have experience in all three branches of ASCSU. And we have the motivation, we have the compassion, and we have the passion to really get out there and engage the students as much as possible. We need to change the way that ASCSU thinks. We need to change the way that ASCSU communicates. We can accomplish the vision of a greater CSU, but we need new leadership to do it. And if you want new leadership, you have to understand that there's 4 options up here, but there's only one choice.
Both of these candidates believe that the new leadership that they can provide will be an important asset to the student body as well as to ASCSU. Again, voting for the ASCSU election begins Monday, April 5th and runs through Wednesday, April 7th. You can vote online at ramweb.coloradostate.edu.
Well, you've probably heard some talk around campus about the proposed tuition increase that CSU students will be facing next year. Earlier this month, some members of the Joint Budget Committee, or JBC, proposed a tuition increase for all state-funded colleges. However, once word got out just exactly how much the proposed increase was going to be, many students were upset, to say the least.
When students are choosing a college, one thing that CSU has been able to offer is a great education in a big school atmosphere, without the big school price tag.
Well, what attracts students to CSU is that it's pretty cheap and it's also a great education.
However, in early March, the JBC proposed a tuition increase of 40%. This was after seeing an early draft of the 2004-2005 budget that included a $1 million cut for higher education spending. But many students didn't see this as a practical option to the budget dilemma.
40% all at once was a huge difference.
Students can breathe easier now as the JBC rejected the 40% increase and are now saying that students can expect an increase of only 1.1%.
40% was kind of worrying me actually, and 1.1%, I mean, that's almost nothing, so that seems reasonable.
A 1.1% increase may be better for students, but that certainly won't solve the budget crisis here at CSU. That leaves the question of what to do to make up the money down the road.
It's not clear exactly how we'll address it yet. Last year we took some permanent reductions. We may have to do yet some more permanent reductions in order to be able to fund salary raises and cover all the mandatory expenses. So that's one option that we'll be looking at.
To make up for the cuts, CSU will be cashing in its tobacco settlement money. However, this will only be a quick fix, and CSU will need to start planning for years down the road.
With more than 100 recycling sites on the CSU campus, the Foothills Research Campus, and close to the Veterinary Teaching Hospital, Northern Colorado is saving thousands of dollars in landfill fees. The $65,635 that the university saved in landfill fees kept costs lower for trash and recycling services on campus. In 2003, CSU was recycling 50% of its waste stream.
We need to educate ourselves even more as far as recycling and building green and conserving everything we can. It's very important that we do this and that our kids learn how to do this.
The next big day for the Recycling Committee will be Earth Day, April 22nd.
Well, it's that time of year when students are either moving out of the dorms or thinking about moving into a new house, and they come to the annual housing fair. The housing fair was held yesterday in the LSC main ballroom. There you could find information from local apartment complexes, have the opportunity to speak with landlords, as well as speak with representatives from Colorado State who could answer any of your questions about housing. And best of all, students could have free food, candy, and free toys.
There's 75 vendors, and it's a combination of apartment complex representatives, property management company representatives, and there's real estate companies here as well for people who are looking to buy.
This was the 19th year of the campus student services that have put on the housing fair.
It's only a month and a half away for seniors here at Colorado State. That's right, it's graduation, and many students are beginning to find out exactly what it takes to find that perfect job. With graduation just around the corner, many students are wondering whether or not the job market is hopeful for them. Students are also finding out that who they know can sometimes be the best bet for them to find that first job out of college.
Connections are probably the best help to get a job. Most people who find a job really quickly have either been interning for the company for several years or know a professor who hooks them up with a company.
The Career Center located in Ammons Hall is a great place to go and find out where your best fit would be in the job market. Counselors there are here to help all students with any of their concerns and questions about finding that great job.
Frequently, companies will use internships as a way to hire somebody full-time because it gives the student a chance to try the company out as well as the company a chance to try the student out.
With graduation just a couple of months away, many students are finding out whether or not the job market is going to be good to them or not.
I actually had a really easy time. It was easier than I thought it was going to be. So I made a couple contacts through the career fair, and then a few of them were just personal reference.
Until then, students should begin to prepare their resumes as well as networking for the future. Graduation is scheduled to begin Friday, May 14th and end on Saturday, May 15th. Fires have been a major problem in Colorado throughout its history. Next, we'll find out why this may be the worst fire season on record.
And many Fort Collins High School students are on the fast track. Find out just what these creative mechanics are up to coming up next.
From Colorado State University, Dominic Garcia, Ashley Hauser, Brooke Shaletowitz, and Rachel Regalado. You're watching Campus Television News.
Call the Center for Drug and Alcohol Prevention and the Center for Health Promotion and quit gambling with your life.
Hello, I'm Dexter Yarbrough, Chief of Police of the Colorado State University Police Department. The CSU PD is a full-service law enforcement agency devoted to the welfare of the university community. We work hand-in-hand with our students, faculty, and staff to promote the educational and occupational experiences of all. For further information, feel free to contact us at 491-6425. And also, we're located here on campus in Green Hall. Thank you.
Classifieds, how may I help you?
Place it, find it, buy it, sell it, rent it. All this and more with the Rocky Mountain Collegian Classifieds as low as $4.50 a day. Call 491-1686, 491-1686.
Today was a great day to be outside with highs reaching 75 degrees. This entire week the weather has been amazing with temperatures above 70 all week. The ASCSU candidates were out campaigning today for their upcoming elections on April 5th, 6th, and 7th. We can expect to continue to enjoy the nice weather. Tomorrow the high is expected to be a very warm 79 degrees.
Spring is here with it yet another dry, high-risk fire season. This season, however, is different than years in the recent past in that it's actually drier and the risk of fire is much higher. The foothill areas have been starved of water all winter long, leaving us with dry brown shrubs, trees, and grass. These conditions form the perfect environment for wildfires to rage once again this season. There have already been several fires this spring, forcing the U.S. Forest Service and other fire crews in northern Colorado to take action. Poudre Fire Authority's Operations Chief Ron Ottman discusses just how dire the situation is.
Our fuel moisture right now is lower than it was in both 2002 and in 2000. And as you remember, in 2000 we had the Bobcat fire here in Laramie County, which was one of the largest fires Laramie County's ever experienced. And in 2002, the Hayman fire occurred west of Denver, which was the largest wildfire in Colorado history. Both of them very dry years. Right now our fuel moisture is below what it was for the same time in both 2000 and 2002.
The Poudre Fire Authority advises people to be extra cautious while enjoying the outdoors this spring and summer because of these extreme fire conditions.
Students at Fort Collins High School are busy in the mechanical room, but they're not just welding metal. These high schoolers are busy building an electric car. The students range from juniors to seniors and each have put in at least 5 hours a week. They hope to finish the car by the beginning of April, where it will then be entered into a race with other students from across the state.
And then one day Brad came in, who works at Co-Create and helps us with all the software, and says, hey, I was in this Electricon race and we created an electric car. And immediately it was like, that's what we're doing.
That's cool.
The competition is called an Electrathon race and will be held outside in the Fort Collins High School parking lot.
A wonderful opportunity for students to get involved is coming up on April 4th. The ladies of Kappa Alpha Theta are holding their annual football tournament to raise money for their annual philanthropy CASA.
It raises money for our national philanthropy, CASA, which is court-appointed special advocates, which helps children in the court system. And the local chapter of CASA is the Harmony House, so we'll be donating all proceeds to that.
If you want to play in the tournament or would like to make a donation to CASA, contact the ladies of Kappa Alpha Theta.
Well, Brooke now joins us here with sports. Brooke, I understand there's a little basketball being played right now.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say, Dominic. Unfortunately, though, the CSU basketball seasons are over. Coming up next, I will wrap up the men's and women's basketball seasons and will bring you up to date on the NCAA tournament. Stay tuned.
The Laurie Student Center is the place to be. It's the place for taking care of business and the place to buy and sell textbooks. It's the place for staying connected, student organizations, leadership programs, and more, all right here. It's the place to eat. It's the place for entertainment. There's always something happening at the LSC. Movies, art exhibits, and special performances. Check it out online. The Laurie Student Center is definitely the place to be.
Watching Emmy Award-winning campus television, winner of the 2003 Heartland Regional Emmy Award for Outstanding Student Achievement. And now, CTV Sports with Brooke Shaletowitz.
Spring break was not very nice to Colorado State's basketball teams. The week began with Mountain West Conference tournament play and ended with the first rounds of the NCAA tournament. Despite CSU's last place finish in the regular season, the first round of the Mountain West Championships looked promising for the men. To the highlights we go. In round one against Air Force, the nation's 25th ranked team, CSU came out firing. Freddie Robinson sinks two to open up scoring. The men traded baskets for much of the first. Mr. A.J. Cool from downtown comes up with a cool three for the Falcons. Moments later, Nelly steps up to the plate, shoots, and misses, but teammate Ronnie Clark says, "I've got your back, Matt," with the tip-in. Air Force would try to get things going in the second, but would not be successful. A little blockage from Michael Morris there. The Falcons just could not overcome the 20-point deficit that they would face after a dunk from Matt Williams. CSU knocks off the conference's #1 team 60-48. It was not too bad. It was too bad for these Ram fans that round two did not play out quite like the first. Nelson misses a dunk in the beginning against UNLV. Fortunately, or well maybe unfortunately, O'Dartley Blankson was quick to show CSU how the whole scoring thing is really done. That's okay though, because check out this tomahawk dunk from Michael Morris. That's something they don't teach you in school. CSU would hang with UNLV for the rest of the first. Rikuski adds 3 in the last seconds to send CSU into the half, down by only 4. Things did not look good for the Rams from there. J.K. Edwards says, "Step aside, Rams, this game is ours," with a little hoop action of his own. Ronnie Clark knew what he was doing, though, with this little jimma-jamma. He was tying up the score at 59-all. Take that, you running Rebels. Gerald Blassingame and the Rebels keep the Rams from repeating what they did last year. Final score 73-80. The women seem to have the same problem as the men after losing in the first round of the Mountain West tournament. The CSU women were granted a chance to play in the WNIT. Their second chance, though, did not prove to be any better than the first. Lindsey Thomas opened up scoring with the layup. The Blue Jays were quick to answer, though. Dana Finch with the J immediately tied things up and starts a scoring drive for Creighton. Melissa Dennett says, "Not so fast. This game is still young." She adds 2 points of her own with less than a minute left in the half. Freshman Kylie O'Dyer sinks the ball to tie things up at 30-all. Going into the half, Sioux State was down by 5. In the second, the Blue Jays' Christy Neneman puts up 3 from outside the arc. She would score a total of 16 points. A nice layup from senior Hasai Ferruccio was not enough to give the Rams the momentum they needed. It was all downhill from there. CSU loses 68-79.
It felt like we were fighting uphill the whole time, but really because of ourselves. It was like, get the ball with a chance to cut it to 2, turn it over, they go down and score. You know, it's just stuff like that. It was just frustrating.
Even though Colorado State's season ended early, there is still plenty of basketball to be played. March Madness is here and the big dance is underway. The tournament is currently down to the Sweet 16, and in the coming days, the Elite 8 will be decided. Before we get to the brackets, we should acknowledge that 3 Mountain West teams were sent to the NCAA tournament. Utah, the 2004 winner of the Mountain West Conference, tipped off against Boston College in the first rounds of play, but lost 51-58. Air Force was also given an at-large bid, but could not come out with the win against North Carolina. BYU was asked to play in the tournament too. They suffered the same fate as their conference peers as they lost to Syracuse 75-80. Now let's get up to date. The current brackets are stacked like this. The Wake Forest St. Joseph's game is currently underway. Earlier this evening, Pittsburgh took on Oklahoma State. On Friday, UAB is set to face off against Kansas, and Nevada, who played the spoiler against Gonzaga, will look to do the same when they play Georgia Tech. They should both be great games. UConn knocked off Vanderbilt only hours ago in a 73-55 decision. Alabama will also play tonight. Earlier in the tournament, they took on number 1 Stanford and will now match up against a tough Syracuse team on Friday. A Duke tournament regular will take on Illinois. Texas and Xavier are also set to play that night.
It's an interesting bracket. How are yours doing?
Yeah, it is. You know, after Gonzaga and Stanford lost, my bracket went down the drain, so I guess it just proves that you can't underestimate the underdog in those situations.
Well, you're not alone. I know a lot of people have been getting upset.
That's right.
Coming up next in entertainment, Rachel is going to tell us what's in style for the spring. We'll be right back.
Hey Ram fans, CSU basketball is going strong this season, and if you've missed out on the action, it's not too late to join fellow Moby Maniacs in supporting your Rams. The men's and women's basketball teams are looking for your help to give Moby a home court advantage in their upcoming games. Bring your friends, bring your residence hall, bring your roommates, and bring yourself to watch head coaches Dale Lair and Chris Danker lead the Rams to victory in Moby Arena. Admission is always free to students. For more information, call 491-RAMS or visit csurams.com.
Campus service officers are the eyes and ears of the CSU Police Department. They provide safe walks to all students and are available 7 days a week. To request a safe walk, pick up an emergency phone on campus, call the Safe Walk line, or simply ask a CSO on duty. CSOs patrol and provide walks from Constitution to Matthew Street and Prospect to Mulberry Street. To be safely escorted to your destination, call 491-1155.
And now, CTV Entertainment with Rachel Regalado.
Well, spring is in the air, and so is fashion here at CSU. The spring fashion show themed Fashion Tempest is premiering this Sunday and Monday in the LSC. The show is put on each year by the College of Applied Human Sciences Department of Design and Merchandising. The show will feature original designs ranging from women's evening, casual, and club wear to men's casual and children's ballet wear. The inspired and unique items were all designed by 29 seniors in the Apparel and Design Production Concentration.
Called Fashion Tempest, and basically the reason for that is because we have so many different designers out there and different kinds of design lines. It's like a storm of just different facets of fashion, so you want to go see like what there is to offer.
Sunday and Monday, March 28th and 29th at 7 o'clock p.m. in the main ballroom of the Laurie Student Center. Tickets are $6 for students and $12 for the general public. To purchase tickets, you can call the LSC box office at 491-6444. Well, if you miss the excitement of taking field trips in elementary school, then I have just the thing for you. Join the Latin American Studies program this Saturday for a trip to the Denver Museum of Nature and Science to view the exhibit Machu Picchu, Unveiling the Mystery of the Incas. The exhibit will be guided by Dr. Mary Van Buren, professor of anthropology at CSU. Dr. Buren has done extensive research on the Incas and is a member of the Latin American Studies Faculty Board. The trip will be this Saturday, March 27th. Costs include transportation and exhibit entrance. The tour will be departing from Laurel Hall at 9 o'clock a.m. and returning around 3 o'clock p.m. To register and for price information, you can stop by Laurel Hall by 5 o'clock tomorrow night or call 491-5919. While being alumni from the College of Business is paying off for the future, this is the second annual Swing Fest fundraiser for the children of alumni to help them attend CSU in the future.
It's for children of College of Business alumni who attend CSU. They don't have to attend the College of Business. They can be in any school on campus just as long as their parents or grandparents are a College of Business grad. And basically this is the one fundraiser per year for the group to raise funds for that scholarship.
The fundraiser will kick off with live entertainment from Steve Marshall and Jim Ordell from the oldie but goodie group Firefall. The event will continue with live and silent auctions. Swing Fest is tomorrow night at 6:30 at the New Belgian Brewery Company here in Fort Collins. The event is free for students and $15 for alumni, faculty, and staff. Well, it was the movie that made us all want to eat bugs, be big and green, and live in a swamp. The popular movie Shrek captivated audiences around the world, entertaining all ages. You might have heard that a sequel was in the making, and you can now relax and know that the wait is almost over. The debut of Shrek 2 is less than 2 months away, and I have a sneak preview of what the movie is all about. Shrek 2 is a hilarious comedy that evolves when Princess Fiona's parents invite Shrek and Fiona to visit for a post-wedding celebration. However, her father and mother, played by Julie Andrews and John Cleese, have no idea that they are both orcs, and her parents have a surprise in store for Shrek and Fiona. Don't worry, Donkey will also be returning, as well as Lord Farquaad and the rest of the Misfits storybook characters. Shrek 2 will be opening nationwide May 21st.
Well, I'm definitely excited to see Shrek 2 because I loved the first one, so.
I know Shrek 1, everyone loved it from ages 5 to 100, so I think this one should entertain everybody as well.
Great. Thanks, Rachel. We'll be right back.
Students making 11,000 bike trips a day. Bicycle safety is important on the CSU campus. CSU Bike Patrol officers work to maintain safety and regulate bicycle traffic. They need your help. Obey all posted signs. Make sure you have a light on your bike at night. Walk your bike in dismount zones. Yield to pedestrians at all times. By doing these things, you will be maintaining bicycle safety at CSU. For more information, call 491-6425.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Ramblers.
Alright ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday night. Welcome to the Ramblers. I am Travis Huntington.
I'm Tyler Kraus.
I'm Chris Dittmer. A great game this weekend.
Another huge game for the Rams.
Don't forget to tune in to the Ramblers every Tuesday night from 6 to 8 right here on 90.5 KCSU.
One radio, 24 hours a day.
7 days a week. Zero commercials.
Turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up.
90.5 KCSU.
90.5.
This is your student-run radio.
It is your student-run radio station.
On your FM dial. Run by students, for students. It's 90.5 KCSU.
Well, that's all we have for you tonight.
Be sure to tune in every night to CTV for your latest news, sports, and entertainment. Good night.
Good night.
For news, sports, and entertainment, you're watching Campus Television, Channel 25, weeknights from 8 to midnight.